Hey Blazers, this episode is brought to you by Audible.com, an Amazon company. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/Blaze Entertainment.
Or visit the sponsor and supporters links on our website at entertheblaze.com. With over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now let's start the show.
And her goal is not in her. She's a diamond under her. Wanna lay you down, I'll try my heart. Though I know gold is not in her.
What's going on, Blazers? We are back with another episode of Blaze Entertainment Spotlight Edition. I'm your host, Kwame. Unfortunately, not joined by the beautiful and melanin proficient Miss Free. She is out today. But I am joined by the incomparable, the gorgeous, the madam herself, Miss Line Brunet. How are you?
Best intro ever.
Thanks. It's kind of a thing. How are you?
I am excellent. Excellent that I get to spend time just with you.
Yes, right? Because we were ambushed last time. For those who don't know, if you guys have, I think we tweeted it out on our Twitter. We were on, both Lynn and myself were on Drew Carson's show, The Haver, and we were crashed by the one and only CJ Rivka, who is Lynn's co-host.
Yeah, that was good.
Yes, it was good times. Scary, but good times.
Yeah. I hear ya.
Right. Now, I
reel that boy in.
Right. Like, I only deal with him a couple of times a week, maybe. you deal with him on a daily basis. Just about,
yeah. No, couldn't have it any other way, though.
Ripka's good people. He is really good people. Don't let his beastie attitude try to deter you. He has a heart of gold.
Oh yeah.
Well,
definitely.
We don't want to ruin his reputation. He's a mean one. We'll just say that.
He can do that on his own,
right?
Yeah.
But it is not about Ripka. It is all about you, Lynn, in this episode. And I'm so honored to have you on the show. And I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy, amazing schedule to speak with us and me, because I'm here by myself. Thanks, Miss Free.
I'm honored.
Cool. So for those who don't know who you are, can you tell us who you are, why you do it, or what you do and why you do it?
Well, my name is Line Brunet, and I've been doing this audio broadcasting deal for just over 8 years now. Love it. Couldn't imagine doing anything else. It's as essential as breathing to me. So, I started this out not to specifically to get into online radio or podcasting. I did it to promote my coaching practice, and not realizing how much it would grab me. And it just grabs you, doesn't it? Like, you have to do it.
It's like, one of those things that you just, like, for me personally, like, I've never been a writer. And so, like, and so, like, I don't, like, I mean, I've tried to. I really have. I really tried to write. And unless I had to for, like, a school report or a college report, I just, I want to talk.
Yeah, so much better at talking. And I tried the writing thing too, and I thought, no, I'm going to do this. What a great way to reach so many people, right?
Yes.
And it just stuck. I mean, I remember from the time I was a kid being teased about talking so much. So play to your strengths, right? Play
Amen.
to your strengths. So I talk it up, and I just got to love it so much. And I just started, keeping in the mix of what's going on and how are people doing that, and wow, isn't that amazing? And as time went on, I just had people come to me going, how are you doing that? I want to do it too. And it grew and grew and grew until I had the opportunity to start my own network of hosts that I could brainstorm and collaborate and help and support and help them launch their own shows, and eventually becoming a co-owner in an online radio station, which I am no longer, but it taught me so much, and I learned so much, and I can't help but, I mean, every day I'm just, what's going on and who's doing what and what's coming about. And I'll never stop doing it because it's such a fantastic way to meet people. I mean, look at you and I. Like,
right.
I've met the best people ever. And if talking is your thing, then go for it. I mean, if writing isn't your thing, don't do it. If you want to talk and get the message out, it's a great way to do it. So that's what I do. I work with people who want to start simply, because I see so many people that hold themselves back and are afraid to start and worried about getting everything perfect. And it's really not that way. And, audiences are forgiving, aren't they?
Yes. Oh, my God. Please say that again.
Forgiving.
Please say that again.
Audiences are forgiving. They're not expecting you to be perfect in every way. Now, I mean, obviously, if the sound is crappy, we work hard to have a good for people to be able to hear it.
Right.
But but it doesn't have to be perfect. And so many people get freaked out. When I started, there were no podcast coaches, no podcasting courses. You just did it. And there's so many courses now that I think that gets certain people like, oh, well, I don't have that equipment and I don't know how to edit and I don't know how to produce a quality show and I don't know how to make, I don't know how to, rip audio and edit it and oh my God, and I say too much. It's audiences are forgiving and if you let who you are shine, people are going to come back to that. We watch Jimmy Fallon and Oprah and Ellen and all those people because of who they are. And we keep coming back and keep coming back. And anything else is it's a cherry on top.
Amen. Well said. Well, damn said. And it's funny you say that because, when we just had our 1 year anniversary a couple of weeks ago. And
ooh, congrats.
Thanks.
That's exciting.
It really was. It was a big deal for us because it was like, it was, we had not expected to get to this point. And it started out with just two friends, just wanting to vent about work life and everyday life in California and, just how, a transplant from New York, and a native from California, kind of bonded together and became best friends, and now it's turned into this platform for social justice. and we created like a network and we have other shows and there's like a bunch of people trying to be on the network and it's been kind of crazy, but it's also taught me a lot and I'm still learning and I always want to remain a student. But just like what you were saying, and going back to what you were saying in regards to the audiences being so forgiving, I listened to one of our very first couple of episodes and comparing it to how we are now. My God. Yeah.
Lordy. Yeah.
It was so bad. It was like knowing what I know now, and it's funny because it's like a lot of the stuff that we listen to, or in our first couple of episodes sound like our raw audio before editing now. It's so bad.
But people still loved you, right?
Absolutely.
They still come back, and that's the point. It's because who you are, it comes through all of that.
Right.
And they want more. And you can never stop learning because it changes so quickly. The broadcasting space just moves so quickly and there's always something to learn. Always. And that's what makes it exciting. So congratulations on the 1 year because so many people don't make it that far. I mean, you got kahunas when you get that far because people they give up, right? Because there's work involved. There's definitely so and it's not like, and it's so funny because I see new people come onto the scene and it's like, man, I did 12 episodes and where the hell's the money? I'm thinking,
right. It's girl.
Like, girl. You need a reality check.
We're just starting to see money, girl. Like you, and it's been a year, and that's just happening. And we're only fortunate to have that, and it's because we were kind of smart about certain things. But there's other aspects. But our original goal wasn't to do it for the money. And I think that's what kind of set us apart from other people, because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to do it. You know, I want to get into podcasting and I want to make a crap ton of money. Well, good luck. It doesn't work like that. There's more. It's just like a business, you know?
Yes. Thank you for saying that, because that's something that I've always worked with when I work with hosts and I had my network. It's you have to treat it like a business.
Yes.
Like everything you do in your business, this is an extension, and all the time you spend on doing all those other things in your business, it always seems like their podcast or their online radio show kind of gets pushed to the side. You can't do that. And if you do get into it for money, forget it. You can make money, and opportunities can come to you, but they'll be indirect.
Right.
Maybe it's a great partnership.
Exactly.
Maybe it's a collaboration. It's not going to be direct. Sometimes, I mean, I have gotten some clients from it, but it's mostly indirect. And if you go at it to that way, no. And you'll see those who have the deep love for it,
right?
For the medium, they're going to keep going despite Skype crapping out and, finding out that only one side of their conversation recorded, and they're up till 2 a.m. and they're like pulling their hair out. Those are the diehard people that you just love to be around, because they're going to help and they're going to support and help promote and all of that. So, and I got to give a shout out to the PDC. I've met the best freaking people. The best freaking people in the PDC. And if it wasn't for the PDC, I never would have met CJ.
Right.
And I wouldn't have, like you said, learned now into the, this year was about live streaming. So that's a whole other aspect to learn.
Right.
And yeah, it's just PDC, just amazing.
And Blazers, for those who don't know, I know I've mentioned it on previous episodes, but PDC, what she's talking about is Podcast Discovery Center. Definitely check it out if you are a podcaster, an up and coming podcaster, or even just an intermediate or even an advanced podcaster, pro podcaster. Definitely go and check out this Facebook group. It's one of the best Facebook groups out there for podcasters, learning, connecting, and networking with other podcasters. It's an amazing place. I have grown from it. I have definitely I wouldn't have met Lynn, first of all.
Yeah.
When it comes to it, I wouldn't have been able to network with some of the best in the game. Lynn and CJ are some of the best podcasters out there. And so like you could, so much knowledge and gems that they drop on their show, not just for podcasting, just for life in general. But in the Podcast Discovery Center, it's just definitely a place that you want to be in if you are a podcaster and you want to learn more. So definitely check it out. Yeah, it can
get pretty rowdy in there sometimes.
Yes. It's fun.
But I gotta say, it's the one group that I engage with the most. Same. Because it's the most, it gets pretty rough and rowdy, but like the nicest people, and there's always somebody that are willing to ask questions, and it ranges from new people, all the way up to people that have been doing it for a long time.
Yes.
And yeah.
And what I really love about that is that, because you know how like sometimes when you have a mixed, when you have an assortment of people with various learning lessons or learning levels, or whether they tend to get bored. The people who are, more pro or more advanced, they tend to get bored. But what's really cool about this group is that they tend to, it's kind of like refreshers for them. Like when they go over and they start talking about things. So it's never a boring situation for them. And it also helps the newer podcasters as well as the intermediate podcasters to kind of like, have a place to kind of bounce ideas off of, because we talk about so much in the Podcast Discovery Center. Like it's so crazy. Sometimes we just do random, like this past one, we did like a GIF Sunday Fun Day. We were just like only talking in GIFs, or GIFs rather. And like, it was just talking in GIFs. That was it. Just no words. And I was just dying the entire day because it was needed. It was so needed.
I think you and Drew Carson are like the GIF masters.
I consider myself a GIF queen, thanks. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really good because, we have this, we see it out there and it's pushed in our faces of, surround yourself with, a certain group of people. Mm-hmm. Well, I think And I get that to a certain point. You know, if you're a high achiever, you want to be a high achiever, surround yourself with only high achievers and stuff. But, you know, it doesn't do you any harm to humble a little bit and be with some new people, to be able to share your experience, because that shows you how far you've come.
Right.
Because sometimes you don't realize it. You think, oh, well, I'm not that, I don't know, intelligent, or I don't know that much, because we tend to not give ourselves that much credit. But when someone new comes into the group and asks a beginner question, then it allows us to see, you know, when we can help them out and we can go, oh, I do know, you know, I have learned, I have come a long way. And so that's why I love the different levels. You know, sometimes some of the conversations will be up there, and even for me, I'm like, well, I don't know enough about that to contribute, but I learn from it, and I'll contribute where I can and go, yeah, you know, I know my stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny you said that, because I actually was, I think it was maybe 6 months ago, maybe. I was talking to the founders, Scott and Anthony, regarding my placement there, because I felt like I wasn't strong enough, rather, or I haven't been there long enough, or I hadn't been podcasting long enough for me to be a true voice within the group. And because I had only, by that time, like by January, I had only been podcasting for 6 months. Blaze Entertainment had only been in existence for 6 months, and so so it was like weird. And so like when people would ask questions, I would just go out there and say, yeah, do this and that, blah blah, and then people would say, oh, how long have you been podcasting? Oh, 6 months. How about you? 4 years. I was like, oh, that's great. That's sorry. You know, and so it would feel weird, because like there was so many things that were happening that were Blaze Entertainment happened really fast. Like we were not expecting the numbers that we got. We were not expecting the response that we got from it, and I think it was because of the niche that we have and what we were talking about. It related to people, you know, of color. And so with this climate, especially with this administration, there was a lot going on. And so it kind of enveloped them. And so they were like, and it enveloped us. And so we weren't expecting that. So I was like, oh, hi. you know what I mean? But yeah, so like I resonate with what you're saying regarding, you know, because there's certain things that sometimes, you know, some of the guys will talk about, especially on Tech Tuesdays. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I have people that do that. Like, I don't need...
I have my own producer. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know what gigawatts go into this. I just know that it sounds nice. Right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, for me too, it's the Tech Tuesday. It's like, okay, sometimes I'll know a little bit, sometimes I don't, and that's where I sit back.
Right.
And yeah, exactly. But that's the beauty is I may not ever use or do what they suggest, but I may know somebody who needs to know that. So I'm always gathering knowledge.
Right.
I'm always, you know, I it's like I have a file folder in my brain for podcast and online radio, and I tuck it away. And when I see someone needs something, I'm gonna help them out. Right. So it's such a great place to, and it can be intimidating. I can definitely see that, but it's very, everybody's really warm in there. So yeah,
it's very rewarding. But now I wanted to ask you a question, because I want to refocus back onto Miss Lynn. Like, tell me a little bit more about your show that you have with Chris Ripka. He is your co-host on Grit and Grace, which, first of all, love the name. Perfect title. Okay. And this is something, I guess, a freebie out there. Your name for your show should personify what your show is about. And knowing who Lynn and CJ is, it is literally the perfect name for them and their show. So what kind of made you guys kind of come together? Tell me a little bit more about it, the history about it, and then also about what it is.
So Grit and Grace started in May. And, you know, I'm sure you were watching CJ for a while last year, got into the live streaming thing. He started seeing that. And I started noticing that. And I would watch, and he started talking about it in a couple groups, PDC being one of them. And I thought, wow, he's doing something different. And of course, I lock on to that right away. And so I would watch his lives and his live streams. And I was watching one, and we connected really well. And that's what's so amazing about social media, that you can, even though it's just text, some people you can just, their vibe is so strong, you can connect with people really well.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
And so we connected really well. And so I was watching one of his live streams, and he shouted out my name. He saw that I got on to watch, and he said something about, and we need to do something together. We need to work together. And I was just like, yeah. Like, I just thought, yeah. Like, I just we felt this connection.
Yeah.
And so I think he had commented something like that before. And so right after he finished that live stream, he sent me a message right away. And so what do you think? And I said, well, let's talk about it. Let's see, like, what do you have in mind? So we talked about it, and we got to know each other more. That was a really long conversation. And so we got to know each other more, and sort of what his vision was. And it's funny because earlier that year, I had been getting sort of antsy with what I was doing and wanted to do something different. And it was so like what he was saying he wanted. So I was like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. And when I started out the year, it was no longer with the radio station I was with, and I didn't know what I was going to do and what direction I was going to go with. And you never know what's going to happen, right? Stay engaged. You never know what's going to come your way.
Right.
Yeah. And so we had this conversation. We talked about it, and we were of the same mind. And we didn't know exactly how it was going to be. Like you said, I think that's another thing that holds people back is they think they think they need to start out with everything in place. And
say that.
You're like, don't do that. You are not going to end up being the same way you started. You're going to evolve. You're going to change. Your show's going to change because you're not going to know until you get into it.
Right.
And so we thought, okay, we had a basic idea of what we wanted. We knew what we wanted to accomplish and what we wanted to focus on, but we didn't know exactly how that was going to come about. And even just in the last 3 months, we've changed. I mean, the format we had set is, some of it's like turfed out the window now, and things have changed, and we're always talking, and let's try this and let's try that. So, if you're thinking about, just do it. Because it's just going to do it. I mean, CJ and I have been doing it for years, and we still, we just knew what we wanted to accomplish, and that was to get people to start talking about things that were difficult to talk about. We wanted to start the conversation and give people a place to talk, because we don't judge. We've seen a lot. We're both life coaches. We've both dealt with a lot of things individually and with clients. And we know that people need to have a place where they can talk, share their stories, and not be judged. So we also have an opportunity for people to go on our website and anonymously ask a question or leave a comment. And we'll answer that on our show. And we just want people to start talking. And the feedback that we've gotten from people about, I was watching this one show and you really pissed me off, but I kept thinking about it. And I'm like, yes.
That's what I wanted to hear.
I'm so glad we pissed you off.
Right.
It's going to stay with you then. It's going to get you thinking. And you're going to talk to somebody else about it. That mission accomplished.
Well said. And you know what's funny? I'm and not to cut you off. I'm sorry, Lynn, but like I really resonated when you said, or resonated with what you said regarding already having a plan of what you're going to be and putting yourself into this box. when you start out, specifically when it comes to podcasting. And I think that is one of the reasons. Another show that I started with my one of my really, really good friends, Chrissy Champagne. We didn't know what the hell it was going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just knew that we wanted to talk about things in life from the gay perspective, and that, or rather from the gay man's perspective. So, cause there's so many things out there. We have shows for, from different perspectives, even within the LGBTQ community. And we just wanted to talk about things from our perspective and just how we saw them, specifically us, and so we didn't know how it was going to turn out, what it was going to be. We just said, we'll just do it, And so, and it's evolved into this beautiful type of show where, we do talk about random things and our emotions come up about different things in life aspects. And, it helps people, especially those who are either struggling to come out or, struggling to, just in life. They connect with it. And so it's just, you never know what you're going to be. Yes, it's always good to have a plan, of course, when it, just like we talk, we don't want to be hypocrites where we said before in terms of, treat your podcast like a business. Yes, have a structure. This is the amount of money that I want to pay a month, for hosting, or this is the amount of money that I want to spend on equipment, this is the amount of time that I want to do for, editing. I need to actually learn how to edit. Those things that, yes, you want to have, or I want to find, I need to have, make sure that there's room in the budget to have a producer to produce it for me or edit it for me. However you want to do it, that's important. But in terms of what the show is going to be, if you don't have a specific idea of what it's going to be already, just be. Especially if you want to talk, what I'm saying? Just talk about whatever's on your heart. And I guarantee people will relate to that more than you trying to be something else, or trying to copy off of somebody else.
Absolutely. Because when you're in a group of people, you're talking and you're sharing who you are and what matters to you and what you're passionate about and your opinions. Do the same thing with your podcast.
Right.
Do the same thing. And you have to have a loose structure. You have to be flexible. And I think that's what holds people back. And I see so many people post about that in various podcasting groups or just on social media saying, I started this way and I'm not really feeling it anymore. Oh, no, my God, I don't know what to do. I really want to do it this way. So do it that way.
Right. Nobody said you have to stay like that.
And that's the beauty of it. And that goes back to, again, your audience is forgiving. They're there for you. They're there for you and whatever you want to do, but there has to be some sort of guidelines. I mean, don't change the name of your show every week. And, but I mean, in terms of what you're presenting, I mean, as long as you're they're showing up for you. And, as long as you know what you want to talk about, and why you want to talk about it and, share why it matters to you. That's what people connect to is why does it matter to you?
Right.
And think about that rather than I've got to buy the blue snowball mic. And because chances are you may pot fade in 4 months, 3 months, right? Or people never start because they think they have to have this huge budget. You don't have to. Listen, you can podcast for $0.
Okay.
Want to know how? Ask me. I mean, I've done it. When I started, and that was the great thing about starting way back, 8 years ago. I didn't know anything. I knew no one who was in it. I knew no one. I had no clue. So that was a blessing in disguise because I thought, well, this is what I want to talk about, and I'm just going to get on and talk about it. And it changed and evolved and just know why you want to do it. And other two important things that I talk to people about is, do you want to make connections or do you want to share information? Because that does influence the kind of show that you want to do, because people are like, well, I don't know if I want to have guests or I don't know if I want a solo show. Do you need to make connections and build your network? Interview people. If you have a huge network and you have a lot of knowledge and you've been doing it, do solo shows. Or a co-hosted show. Because then it's time to start sharing your information if making money is a byproduct that you want, then start sharing your information and your knowledge with people then to that large network you've already created.
Right. Well said.
So that's about, yeah.
Yes. I love it. I know we're running out of time and I don't want to go because I'm having so much great conversations. We have to do this again. We definitely do. But for those who don't know where they can find you, where can they find Grit and Grace and also all things Lynn?
Well, you can find Grit and Grace. We're on Facebook, so facebook.com/Grit and Grace TV. All our videos are there. You can also find us on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a show. And also on our website, gritandgracetv.com, and all the ways you can find us, iTunes, Stitcher, and all of that. We are Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. We go live on our Facebook page. But in the fall, we are ramping it up, and we are going to be coming 3 nights a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yes.
More Grit and Grace.
I can't wait because I personally cannot watch it live on Wednesdays due to the fact that I do a lot of advocacy. And so that's my day where I work with another LGBT group. And so it's frustrating because I'm like, I want to listen to Grit and Grace. But then on Thursdays, I also do recording with Blaze Entertainment. So I'm just like, I don't get a break.
Well, that's the beauty of recording everything, right?
Right, exactly.
And I know there's some people that they don't have the time, and once in a while they can catch us live, but then they just catch us on audio. So that's why it's great. You know, we then take the audio from it and turn it into a podcast, and you know, we're on iTunes and Stitcher, and then we're played on Mile High Radio. So Monday nights, our show replays on milehighradio.com, which is a 24/7 music and talk radio station, and we're on there on Monday nights.
Come on, syndication. Yes.
Yes, come on. Yeah.
Well, Lynn, it's been a pleasure. First of all, it's not even just a pleasure, an honor to speak with you today. You are always welcome on Blaze Entertainment and any other shows on Power Media Network. So I definitely encourage any of you guys out there who are listening, who are also fellow podcasters, to have this woman on your show. She is an amazing, amazing guest and just incredible energy. So yes, I'm gushing over her because she is one of my faves.
You just like the pictures I share.
I do. It's quite cute. Lots of assets. Anyway,
I'm so glad you have crossed my path. We're gonna have to send flowers to Drew or something, and yeah, we are the same frequency, man.
Yes.
So I'm
and
honored.
One day we will meet. One day we will meet in person, and we're going to have a blast, and I'm going to take you out for drinks because it needs to happen. Definitely.
It's on my bucket list.
Yes. So all you Blazers out there know that this will happen. This will happen. And I will put it up. I will take pictures. Put it up on my Facebook.
We'll make an event. We'll go to Sir.
Yes.
Or Pump.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God. What you know about Sir Pump? Let me find out.
Oh, come. I watched that. I love that show. That's why I like your Real Housewives gifts all the time.
Oh but I'm a huge and I I'm so bad at it. I'm a huge.
This needs to be a separate conversation.
Yeah, it really is. We'll get to it. But thanks you guys for listening. You can catch this episode and more episodes of Spotlight, the Spotlight edition, on www.entertheblaze.com, and also check out our mother network, PyroMediaNetwork.com. It's been fun. It's been real. Thank you, Lynn, for joining us. And we are out.
Yeah.